You say free hosting like it's a bad thing. And okay, today, oftentimes it really is. But when one major player in our space switches to free, well, that's going to make a lot of current business models obsolete. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. This is part 4 of my miniseries where I'm recapping the 10 predictions of the future I put in print in the inaugural print edition of Podcast Business Journal. Option number 4 here is all about free media hosting. It's a delicate topic because I will say this with a straight face. Every free media hosting company I'm aware of in the past has failed, with maybe one exception. That was because they got bought. Free media hosting tends to not stick around for a while. And by the way, if I missed someone and there is still a free one out there, sorry, edge cases always, I suppose, or correct me, whichever. But we tend to wind up with reality checks for the people that are making the hosting decisions to make it for free. So I recognize that. I know that that's actually the case, and I think a new company coming along offering free hosting from scratch will have the same problem. But as my prediction stated in the article, eventually, in the future, you and I's real future, free hosting for podcasting, podcast media hosting, will be a viable option. Not for everyone, but it will go that way. And for one reason and one reason only. Spotify is going to do it. There's my big prediction. Spotify is going to say, yeah, we'll take the model from Anchor that the company we bought, and we'll just apply it here to Spotify so that if you want to put a podcast out, just come to Spotify. We'll do your podcast for you. I think that's what's going to happen. It'll probably happen soon. I hate to say when soon is, but I'm on record of saying 2019. We'll see if that holds true or not, but that's effectively going to happen. And then for a lot of people, they'll say, well, why wouldn't I do that? A lot of podcasters, a lot of would-be podcasters, a lot of current podcasters will switch over to that model, I think. Especially if they make it, all they have to do is say, oh, and by the way, here's your RSS feed. Okay. Why not? As long as it actually works and is functional, why wouldn't you make the switch over there? Okay, that's what I think is going to happen in the near future. But that's not the only thing that's going to change. So what happens when that changes? Why would everybody switch over? I don't think everybody's going to switch over. This is not a doom and gloom statement. This is a reality. When YouTube came along and said free hosting, a lot of the other video hosting companies went out, but not all of them. A lot certainly did, and so there'll be a big shake out of that. But I think where they're going to excel, where the current companies right now that are doing media hosting specifically are going to excel, is those that can pivot. What sort of advantages can you give to people that would have them utilize your services more than some other company services? Advertising, sure, you could do that. Although I think the way that a company like Spotify is going to enable themselves to offer the free hosting is ad support or revenue shares. So there'll be a monetization angle. So I don't think that is going to be enough to entice people to stay over. I'm thinking it might have to do with some of the new automated tools that are making it, this is going to be a little bit complicated, making it easier to make a better quality show by helping you assemble content together. Now, you might be thinking, well, wait a minute. Anchor, the company that's owned by Spotify, Evo, that's really easy to make a podcast. That's why they did it from your phone. And they're also universally terrible. And I would agree with that statement, but that's not what I'm talking about. I think it's easier to make any old thing and call it a podcast. That's one domain. But some of the new tools that are coming, and some have been around for a while, Auphonic, you probably know of that. There's always Alitu as well, and a couple of other services that I know that are Auxbus, I think is what it's called, and I'll correct that with the links inside. These companies are making it easier to assemble and piece together and even strategize on up front the entire podcasting process. They're not saying, when you get that audio file ready, you let me know. That's not it at all. It's like these new hosting companies and these service providers are helping you create better content by using a lot of automated tools. Automated tools to stitch content together, to help you understand what a flow and might actually look like. And it's just a higher level of quality. And I wonder if that, which is being explored slightly right now, and oftentimes does not come, sometimes it does, oftentimes does not come with a hosting model. I wonder if that's an option. Some sort of high-end way to build quality content that would somehow augment the income. That's something that's worth paying for. Where the hobbyist in the basement just having fun, two dorks and a microphone style, which got me started, that always continues, but I think that continues, somewhere else, unless there is such a compelling offer sitting at the hosting companies to where they need to stay, that it's worthwhile. I think there's a lot of options coming out of this. But I also think, as I said, that a lot of this is going to be free, especially the hosting stuff. So we've got to figure out a way, if we want a nice and healthy industry, how we maintain relevancy when everything is over free, right? Because free encourages a lot of garbage. We've seen it. We see it on YouTube. We see it on Anchor. We see it everywhere, and that's okay. That's kind of part of the problem. But that's a problem to be solved. Again, another opportunity to come in when the landscape changes and offer some sort of a service to cut through all the garbage. Because do you really need all 1 million, 2 million, whatever the show count is going to be when we empower all these crappy shows to be in there? Or do you just want the cream of the crop? Do you want some sort of a selection? I think people will turn around and create companies to help cut through the noise on all of that. Maybe. It definitely changes the landscape when we start thinking about the future of things, especially futures quite this big and quite this fundamentally changing. I've got no crystal ball, but it's what I think is happening, and I'm doing this mini-series of 10 predictions for the future, so check out the other ones if you've missed, and more are coming frequently. Hey, before I bail on you, 3 quick things. Go over to flick.group/podcast pontifications if you want to join other people chatting about this episode and all the other episodes of the show. It's a little private place we're having conversations. If you want to show your support for the program, go to buymeacoffee.com/evoterra and buy me a virtual coffee. You do understand it's not actually sending me coffee, right? Yeah, you probably got that. And the last thing is, if you're a business and you're thinking, we need to think about this future of podcasting more for our business, please get in touch with me, evo@podcastlaunch.pro, or go to podcastlaunch.pro to see a list of the services we offer clients all around the globe. That's it. Enjoy your weekend. Back on Monday with a continuation and another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers.